welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this look right here. This is like my anti-Valentine's Day look. It's really beautiful, really nice and smoky. And to create today's look, I'm actually using a palette that I'm pretty sure most of you guys have in your collection at this point. This is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette with Morphe. This is what the palette looks like right here. And you guys, I specifically used this palette because today's look was supposed to be a matte red smoky eye. So I wanted to use this red shade over here. But what happened is I went ahead and of course packed it into the crease, and girl, as soon as I started to blend the color out, it turned pink, which I feel like is normal, but I was not expecting it to get that pink because this red is so pigmented. So I was like, okay, you know what? We're just gonna have to figure out a completely different look. Like, I was not about to wipe it off. So I created this look instead, and honestly, I'm obsessed. Like, it looks so bomb. Also, I tried to do something different with my hair. You guys, I don't know what to do with this hair anymore. Like, I'm not a hair person. I do my makeup, and my makeup already takes hours to do. Filming takes hours to do. By the time it's time to do my hair, I try my best to do something easy and simple. So, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. I also wanted to quickly mention a foundation that I've been obsessed with. I wanted to share it with you guys. This right here is the ZOEVA Authentic Skin Natural Luminous Foundation. I actually just tested out this foundation in my testing new makeup video that I just recently posted. I'll go ahead and link that video down below if you guys are interested. But this foundation is so beautiful, you guys. I'm wearing it today on my skin. It gives you such a beautiful, healthy glow without making your skin look oily. It does not look oily. It doesn't look greasy. It just gives a beautiful glow. And the best part is it has amazing coverage. I did get mine at Ulta. If you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and link it down below. And in case you guys are around my skin tone, I am in the shade 140N Energetic, and it is the perfect shade for me. It looks a little bit warm when I first apply it, but once I do my concealer and bronzer and everything like that, the color is obviously perfect. So obsessed with it, you guys. If you have normal to dry skin like I do, I think you are going to love this foundation. It's beautiful. So I quickly wanted to just recommend the foundation because I'm telling you, it has blown me away. So we're going to go ahead and jump into today's video. Before we jump in, please don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys have not already. And of course, without further ado, if you guys would like to see how I created this really beautiful, smoky, anti-Valentine's Day look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so jumping straight into today's eye look, I'm going to, of course, be using my P.LOUISE base in the shade Rumor number 2 to go ahead and prep my eyelid. I usually like to apply it to my lid. I let it sit actually for a few minutes so it's not super wet, and then I go in with a buffing brush to go ahead and buff it out and make sure I have a nice even layer of the base on my lid. So jumping into the eyeshadow palette, this, of course, is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette from Morphe, and the shade I'm using here is the shade called Livin' My Best, which is the super pigmented bright red in this eyeshadow palette. It is so beautiful, you guys, and the method that I used for this look is the method that I always use, which is basically just packing the color into the socket of my eye. I like to really build the color and bring it to its full intensity and then start to blend. So the brush that I'm using here, I'm basically just taking it, and you guys, this has no eyeshadow on it whatsoever except the leftover eyeshadow from blending out the other eye. But I basically was just blending the edges of this shade, and as you guys can see, it's turning pink. It didn't stay red at all, and I mean, I really did kind of like drag it out, so it's fine. I mean, it's okay for this look, but that's the reason why I didn't end up doing the matte smoky eye. So what I'm doing here is basically just taking the shade Crazy in the palette, which is a nice like brick burgundy kind of red, and I just packed that on the outer corner as well as into the socket of my eye as well. And then I went back in with that buffing brush and just decided to just blend everything out. That's really the main point here, is just making sure that we're not having any harsh line in between the brow bone and this eyeshadow. Because it's so pigmented, you definitely need to take your time to blend it out. So then I went back and forth with the shade Crazy and Livin' My Best and just created the blend that I wanted. And then of course I'm going to clean up that eyelid, so I'm just using a little bit of my Garnier Micellar Water with a Q-tip just to go ahead and kind of like carve out that negative creative space. So I went ahead and cut my crease off camera because you guys know I never stay in frame because I get so close to the mirror, but that's what the cut crease is looking like. I also did a little bit of a different kind of cut crease. I kind of cut my crease definitely lower than usual, and I really did like it. So let me know what you guys thought about the shape of this cut crease in today's video. So as you guys saw, I patted it out with a brush, and then I'm going to actually go in with a face powder. This is my Rimmel Stay Matte in the shade Sandstorm, and I'm just going to use this to set that base because I didn't want to use a white and I didn't want to change the color. I wanted it to be like that really pretty nude shade. So I used the face powder and it worked amazing. So now we're going to go ahead and work on the outer corner. So I'm going to be taking the shade Crazy again and just packing that on my outer corner. Of course, building up the intensity to as much as possible, you guys. Like, girl, do not be scared of these eyeshadows, okay? So then I went ahead and jumped into the shades Tipsy Girl and Lolly Mama, which are two beautiful pink shades. And I just put those two colors right in front of Crazy to kind of blend it into that nude shade a little bit better. So that way there's not a harsh line. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and align my lash line. This right here is the Tarte Tartiste, I believe, Double Take Eyeliner is what it's called. Of course, everything is going to be listed down below so you guys can check everything out. But I basically just did a line across my lash line. It doesn't need to be perfect because as you guys see, I'm going to go over that liner with some eyeshadow. So once I was pretty happy with the blends and everything, I went ahead and cleaned up my shadow. This is just a typical makeup wipe. And you guys, I know right now the line looks harsh, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to still continue to blend, but we want to do the face makeup first. So I'm going to go ahead and add my lashes. These lashes are from Pink Leaf Cosmetics. I'll go ahead and link them down below in case you guys are interested. They're so beautiful and fluffy, you guys, and I do have a discount code if you guys are interested. So moving on to the face makeup, I'm using the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I'm obsessed with this primer, you guys. Like, you guys are going to keep hearing me talk about it because it is so bomb. It smooths the skin for you. It hydrates. It's nourishing. Like, it makes your skin look freaking poreless, okay? And not to mention, it smells heavenly. So moving on to foundation, I've also been obsessed with this. This is the ZOEVA Authentic Skin Foundation in the shade 140N. You guys, this foundation is gorgeous, and I'm blending it out with a Wet n Wild sponge, of course. And yeah, I love this foundation. It's beautiful, it's luminous, it has good coverage, it is bomb. So to go ahead and cream bronze, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Tantour bronzer. This one right here is in the shade Fair. One of my favorites. It's beautiful and it's definitely a no-brainer. And then I decided to try a new cream blush. This one right here is from Milani. I'm going to leave the name down below and I'll put the name on the screen as well so you guys can check it out. It was really nice and I actually did like the formula. It had a really nice dewy finish. It was gorgeous. For concealer today, I'm going to be using my JOUER Essential High Coverage Concealer. And you guys, I'm so sorry. I have not noticed how much I've been using this concealer, but it is my favorite concealer of all time. The coverage is absolutely beautiful, and I'm applying it a little bit differently today. As you guys can see, I'm creating kind of like a line against that shadow, or rather right underneath it. And that's basically just to help so that way I have a nice sharp line and everything looks really nice and crisp and clean. So that's the reason why I did my concealer a little bit different in today's video. So to go ahead and set my concealer in place, I'm using my Dragon Beauty translucent powder. You guys, this powder is so gorgeous. Like, you definitely need to try it if you haven't tried it. It is so brightening, so smoothing, and it smells really nice. I like the scent. So moving on to setting the rest of my face, I'm using the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate powder. This powder with this foundation is so bomb. It keeps your skin nice and glowy. Then for bronzer, I'm going to be using the JOUER Hydrate and Set powder. This one is in the shade Tan. It's a face powder, but I got it in a darker shade to use it as a bronzer, and it's amazing. And then for blush, I'm using the KVD Vegan Beauty Blush in the shade Honeysuckle. Beautiful matte blush, you guys. It is gorgeous, and it goes with any eyeshadow look that you're doing. So I went ahead and applied a good, generous amount of blush. You guys know I love me some blush. And then for highlight, I'm going to be using an oldie but goodie. This is the Laura Geller Baked Highlighter in the shade Gilded Honey. One of my favorites, and it's just beautiful. Like, it's honestly a no-brainer. So I like to highlight the tops of my cheekbones, my nose, of course, my cupid's bow, and my chin, which I know is not for everyone, but I personally love it. And then I always go back in with some blush to make sure that everything looks really nice and blended. So that's basically it for the face makeup. So let's go ahead and move on to the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with a flat definer brush, and I'm first taking the shade Crazy from the palette, and I'm packing that color super close to my lash line and also connecting it to that outer part of our eyeshadow. And then of course I'm going in with the brush to make sure it's blended. And then I took a little bit of the shade Temptress, which is a matte black shadow, and only put that on the outer part of the eye. So now what I'm going to do here is basically start to really blow out that shadow. Now that the face makeup is done, you can make sure that you can basically bring out the shadow as far as you want, but you want to make sure that you're dragging out every single color. So I started off with the two light pinks, and then I went back in with the shade Crazy, and right here I went back in with that dark black shade just to make sure everything looked really nice and blended. And then for the waterline, I went in with my Killer liner from Too Faced. This one is in the shade Killer Cashmere. I've been obsessed with this too, you guys. It is so good. Such a gorgeous nude liner. You definitely need it. And then I took a little flat angled brush just to kind of like define the eyes a little bit more with that black shadow. And that was basically it as far as shadows. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Thrive Cosmetics mascara to go ahead and apply a generous layer of that to my lower lashes. And that's basically it. The look is complete. So I did my lips off camera, you guys, just to save us some time in today's video because you guys see the same lip combo all the time. And I also did this little trick, which I wanted to show you guys that I did. I added a little bit of translucent powder against the edge of that shadow. And you guys, it cleaned it up so beautifully and it didn't leave it stark white. I was obsessed. It was way better than using a concealer. Girl, I'm telling you, definitely try it because it was amazing. And then I'm going to go ahead and set everything in place. This is my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Mist. You guys know I love me a dewy skin moment. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make sure it's nice and dry. And then last minute, of course, I decided to add a gloss. This is the Madison Beer and Morphe Lip Gloss in the shade Mercury. Favorite new gloss ever. It is so beautiful. Well, one of my favorites. So I went ahead and added that, and you guys, that's basically it. Today's makeup look is complete. Let me know down below what you guys think about today's look. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.